All right, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Tibby. I'm back with another video today. So what we're going to be talking about today, this is just going to be a step-by-step tutorial on the TradeDayX platform. You guys see me use this a lot with TopStepX also. They partnered with Project X, hence the X in both of their names. But we have TradeDayX and then TopStepX. So right now I'm currently trading through TradeDayX. I want to go ahead and walk you through the whole platform. It works the same way with TopStepX also. Any company that partners with Project X is pretty much the same. I did notice that TopStep has their own little things like the TopStepX live link and just a couple of other things that TopStep, implemented it specifically into their platform that might not be on here. But for the most part, everything's the same. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, like I said, I'm just going to walk you through so you guys can get a better understanding of the platform and its features, and it'll just allow you to be a better trader and kind of, take some of the hesitation away from your actual trades that you're doing every day because you already know the platform. All right. So yeah, and it'll be easier for you guys to stay along with me whenever I'm live. You guys understand what's going on. All right. So I'm gonna put my video down and then we're just gonna go straight into the platform and just talk about everything. All right. So let's get this video out of here. All right, bet. So this is TradeDayX right here. So I'm gonna start it at the default settings because this is what it will probably look like when you guys get into it. If it's your first time or if you already have it, this is probably what it looks like, right? All right, so with TradeDayX, as you can see, you have your chart view. There's a bunch of different features. Like you see these icons over here, the Traders Hub, performance stats, the settings, support, and you'll see your balance view up here, your distance to your maximum loss limit, your realized profits, unrealized profits, and we're at the top of the screen now so you guys can kind of follow along. I'll try and speak direction so you guys can see. But yeah, and then next to that you have the manual lockout button. If you click that, you can confirm that you want to lock out all day if you want to do specific times. This is really good for risk management. If you have a real bad habit of over trading or anything, click this button whenever you feel yourself falling in the tilt and FOMO and just revenge trading. All of those are all good times to just go ahead and hit this lockout button. All right, so we're just gonna hit no cancel, but that's just what that's there for. So let's get into some of the layout stuff right here, right? So we have our chart view right here. All of this, you won't see these time frames up here. The reason that's up here is because I already have them favorited, as you can see, like the 1 minute, the 5, 15, but you could just go to click that right here. You'll probably just have this one right here with the little arrow next to it. You click that and then you could pick what you want, and then you can highlight which ones you want, the favorite ones. So whenever you highlight them, you see how the 1 hour goes away, and then I click the start and then it comes back. That's the whole point of that. So you don't have to keep going to this drop down menu to get to the time frame that you want. It makes it a little bit easier. All right. So yeah, we have the chart view. Then we have all these other boxes right here with information. Now, depending on what you want to use, you can decide what you want to keep on here or not, but I'll go through them so you understand what it is. So we'll start here we have the chart view, but we're going to start below that at the bottom right here where we have these different tabs where you see accounts, positions, orders, trades, quotes, and spacer. So accounts, pretty much you're pretty much just going to see all your accounts that you have with TradeDay. You can have up to 6 now. You used to only be able to have 1. Now you can have up to 6. So if you had 6 accounts, they will all be listed here and the status of them, if they're active, whatever, the win rate, account name, trade, total lots traded, the P&L, and then your account balance. Other than that, then you'll have your positions. Then you also have orders. Positions, it was whatever open positions you have or positions you have waiting to get filled. So even if you put a limit order in, you'll be able to see that there, see what positions you have in their orders. You'll be able to see your pending orders here as well. Actually, let's correct that. Positions are going to be your actual positions that you're in. It has nothing to do with the ones waiting to be filled. You'll see that under your orders. Under your orders, you'll see the different ones that are waiting to be filled, that have been filled, that have been canceled, etc. Then trades, you'll be able to see all the trades that have been executed, you entered, whether for profit or loss. You'll be able to see those exact trades, the size, the time, duration, entry price, exit price, P&L, commissions, fees, direction. It gives you a lot of information. Then you have the quotes, which is kind of like a watch list. If you're on TradingView, you can have the different tickers that you're watching, and you'll be able to see how prices moving throughout the day. and then the spacer is just a blank space. So I'm gonna close out of all of these because I like to use as much space for my charts as possible. So I'm gonna close this whole box out. Then now we're left with our order panel, the time and sales, and then our DOM. So right here in the order panel, this is what I'm gonna start using to enter and exit my trades, just because it's small and it has everything that I like to use whenever I'm trading. I don't use the time and sales. With time and sales, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what it is, the time and sale of a specific contract or whatever. So like if ES, so you see how it says size filter. So I can change this to where I only see orders that are 5 or more, like people that are put it in position sizes of 5 or more. Right now it's filtered to 1. So you'll see everybody that are placing single contract trades, or I don't want to say everybody, but you just see those orders being into the market. You'll be able to see the time that they were placed and the price and then the size. That's pretty much the basic of that, but I don't use that, so I'm gonna close that out. The DOM, some people trade off the DOM. I don't trade off the DOM, but you'll get like the volume profile of a price point, which is pretty cool. I think that's helps you kind of fine tune your trading and get like more precise entries. And some people trade off of that volume profile, so I don't really do too much off of that. That's something you like to do. That's what that's there for. But again, and then the bottom part of the DOM is the same thing that I have right here on the order. So I don't use this DOM anymore. And the reason I like to use the order instead of the DOM, because I can make it as small as possible. With the DOM, you can't make it this small. And like I said, I like to use as much space for my charts as possible. All right. So another thing that I like to do, if you come up kind of to the top right here, you see next to default right here, I'll click this, and then I like to do 3 charts. You can do up to 8 on here. So whatever you like to do, I don't have the space for 8 charts, so I'll do the 3. And then my charts will pop up like this. Then I'll have my 15-minute up here in the top left. In this bottom left-hand corner, I'll change that to the 5-minute. And then I'll have this bigger one on the 1-minute. Now, another thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have, especially when you come in here, because you'll be trying to place trades, and you'll be looking at the S&P to ES market, and then the trade is actually an NQ, because over here in the order section is something different. But the way that you make sure that doesn't happen and make sure your charts are linked to this order section is to make sure that you have chart link on. So again, like I'm gonna go ahead and redo all of them, because that stays even if I reset to default. So I'm gonna just set it up so you guys can see. So first thing you want to do, you want to click on the chart that you want to have. So right now I'm on the 15-minute chart, and then I'll hit add chart link, and then this right here pops up, and you see it just has the circle with the X with the slash through it, because it's not linked to anything. So now I want to make sure I want to link this to this order panel right here. Right here, this is where we click. You see this blue circle right here. You'll click that, and then this is where you can change what chart links to this. So if I wanted to change it to that X thing, then yeah, it would link that way, but we're gonna pick a color. We're just gonna go with blue because we already have blue up here. So we have that. We know we want all charts that are linked to the blue to go through this order panel right here. All right, so we'll go back to the chart that we recently linked. We'll click the gearbox next to it, and then we'll change the color, and we'll change that to blue. And then we're gonna want to repeat that step for each of these. So we'll click the 5-minute, add chart link, and then we want to go to the gearbox, blue. Then we'll do the same for the 1-minute, add chart link, gearbox, blue, and then boom. So now I can place trades off the chart. So if I do this, you could have done this before. It didn't have to be linked for you to see this, but if you wanted your order panel to be linked to your charts, so like anytime. So now the main thing about that too is, now that I've linked them, if I decided to change from ES to NQ, I click that, it also changes my order panel. So if I didn't have these linked, right? So you see how it says NQ, and these are NQ right here, the charts. So if I change this to ES, you see how the charts changed to ES, but the order panel didn't change to ES because they're not linked anymore. But as soon as I click and link them, this will automatically change to ES, as you see it did. So that's the whole reason you want to have these linked, because if you're placing your orders off this order when you want it to match whatever chart you're looking at that moment. Okay. All right. So other than that, what can we talk about? So we have the chart set up. We have the 3 charts set up. Like I said, I have my 15-minute for my higher time frame, 5 for more of confirmation, and then 1 for execution. All right. Now, other than that, we already talked about the order panel, but kind of go in a little bit more detail about everything. So down here, you can right here, you can change the tickers that you're looking at. So if you wanted to trade something else, and again, you have the option to favorite these, so you can add them to your favorites. So they're just at the top. When you add it to the favorites, it just brings them all higher to the top. It doesn't add any cool button or something to make it easier, but you just click the star if you want to add and remove things. Other than that, then you have the type of orders that you want to place whenever you're using this. So you can do market orders, limits, stop market, or trailing stop. Then the number of contracts that you want, then you'll be able to see the bid and ask price along with the spread in the middle of that. You can change accounts here if you wanted to. If you wanted to trade specifically on one account, you can change that here and then be able to do that. And then below that is another area to change your position size a little bit quicker than typing it in, and then you can hit the plus or minus here. So you see it goes down when I hit the minus, or if I hit the plus, it'll add contracts. Then whatever contract size you have in these areas, it automatically changes these buttons to that. So you can just buy and sell at that contract size. And then you can join the bid, join the ask, close the position, reverse position, cancel, flatten all. If you hit flatten all, so if you have multiple positions open on different tickers, whatever, you'll hit flatten all and then it closes all positions. If you hit cancel all, it closes all pending orders as well. I don't know if flatten all closes pending orders, but I know cancel all will close all pending orders. All right. Now, other than that, you have this gearbox where you can do more specific like preferences or settings that you want to have on here. So you can always use fix with bid and ask volume. You can hide the buy and sell button, hide volume profile column. So if you wanted to make, because this is kind of part of the DOM also, like is another version of the DOM. So that's why it's saying DOM and order card settings. So if you wanted to hide the volume profile on the DOM, so there's ways you could, conserve space with that DOM one as well. I didn't know too much about this, but I'm still going to stick with the order and we just going to leave it as it is. All right. So other than that, now let's go ahead and go into how to mark up your charts and everything that you want to do. All right, so let's head into that so we can set up your charts, more customization as far as adding indicators and just drawing tools. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to a one chart right now to make things a little bit simpler. So back up at this top right here, you see you have the symbol search. I already kind of dove into that a little bit, but you can just type in whatever ticker you're looking for. If it's NASDAQ, you type in NQ and you'll click there and then it'll automatically switch. If it's YM right there. If it's just, you just know like one letter, you just type one letter and then it'll show you everything with that. So you can kind of go through right here on the right on the order panel, you can kind of go through all the tickers a little bit better. Over here, I don't think you really get that unless you backspace all the way. Yeah, you still don't even get to see all the different symbols that are available. So if you want to see the different symbols, go over here to the contract where it says select contract, and then you'll be able to see the different symbols that are available. All right, and then right here, this is just if you want to compare symbols. Like if a lot of people will look at two charts, especially because of well, this doesn't show exactly what I was thinking exactly, so I'm not even gonna talk about that because I don't know what it is. But you can compare or add symbols. I guess you can add more. What's good, y'all? I hope y'all are enjoying this video. I just wanted to stop in real quick just to talk about TradeDay and some of the promotions that it has going on today. So with TradeDay right now, they're offering this 40% off, no activation fee with new accounts opening up. And another cool thing that they did is that they're allowing people to buy 6 accounts and trade with 6 accounts now. Formerly, they had 1 account. You could only do 1 account. Then they upgraded to 3, and now they're finally up at 6. So with Trade day, there's no consistency when funded. Day one payouts from when you're funded, and also you could keep up to 90%. It does start at 80% from day one, and then you can grow up to 95% with their different rules that they have in place. But again, this is just to show you guys the deals that they have going on right now. 40% off plus no activation fee. I think that's really huge. I don't think a lot of people understand how big that is in the prop firm community, because whenever you're in a prop firm, you usually have to pay an activation fee, which could be $150 plus. Their normal activation fee is $139. So you're saving $139 for each account that you get. So times that by 6, that's how much you're saving each time you get these accounts. And again, like, so if you think about it, you can go from evaluation of funded, like not unfunded, to funded for $59. I mean, I don't think you could really beat that. I think that's a really great deal. And if you guys want to partake in this deal, just go ahead and click that link down in the description. I do get something from the link, so whenever you make a purchase from any link that you find on my page, it helps the page out, helps us grow. And, you know, I definitely do appreciate it. Even if you guys don't use the link, I think you guys should still hop on this deal. Definitely be beneficial for you guys, and, you know, save you some money while you're going through this process, learning, trying to get some money out of it. But yeah, until next time, back to the video. Yeah. All right, so next what we're going to talk about some of the different charting tools that you can use when it comes to TradeDayX. So the first thing we're going to talk about, we're just going to kind of go through all of these drawing tools that they have over here to the left. So right here is just pretty much, you could change if you want the crosshairs, if you want a dot, arrow, and then an eraser if you have any drawings on there. Below that is where you'll have all your trend line tools. So you'll have like your trend line, the ray, info line, extended ray, pitchfork. I don't use none of these channels stuff down here. The only thing I use on this is going to be the horizontal ray. That's pretty much it. So with the horizontal ray, it just kind of gives a starting point and then ends over here. And from here, what I like to do, I kind of do a little template on each of these, because, you know, I like to trade off of time-based or session liquidity. So if I'm looking, if this was the Asia high, I could just click that and it'll change it. I already have it set for color coding and for it to say Asia high right there, so I'll know exactly what it is. And if you want to do that, all you have to do is, when you draw the line, you hit settings, and then you type whatever you want in here, blah blah blah, set it up how you want. After you have it set up, you'll click save as, and then type the name of the template like that you want to name it, click save, and then it'll be there under this template box. So anytime you go there, so you can see I have different ones set up for just plain liquidity, then the London low, you know, New York AM high, and they're all different colors. But that's how you do that. That's the main thing that I use on that. Other than that, you do have this area right here where you can have like your fib retracement tool if y'all are into fib. I was into fib at one point, but I don't use it too much anymore. But, you know, this is the fib tool pretty much. So like with OTE, which is another ICT kind of concept, like, you know, after you see this move back, you would want to see price come back above the 50%, usually within right to the 0.705. That's technically what they consider the optimal trade entry. But the other good thing about that, I mean, the other thing you can use it for is just the 50%. Some people just use 50% to get in on the trade and then to see it sell off a little bit more. So on this current move, you kind of see it went and tapped into the 50%, then we started selling off a little bit. So maybe we see lower pricing, who knows? But that's what the fib retracement tool is used for. I don't use it too much. And your settings are probably going to be different. I think did I already set up my settings on here? Or my numbers? I think I did. Yeah, so these will be a little different, but if you want to customize those, while that's selected, you're going to click the gearbox, and then that's where you can edit all of these numbers in there. All right, fib tool, do I use anything else in here? No, that's about it under that, so I won't go through anything else. This one, I really don't use anything under this, other than like this if I'm teaching something, because it just, you know what I mean? If I'm trying to give like just a easy illustration or something, that's what I'll use. Other than that, then long position, I don't use anything up under here, but you'll see a lot of people on YouTube that use this to map out their trades and show where they're, you know, they're saying their stop is below here and they're putting their TP right here. Like that's how you'll see people kind of use that long short position tool, but I don't use that at all. Then you have the drawing tools over here. I use the rectangle. That's what I use a lot. That's what I use to map out fair value gaps. So right there, like, you know, it just draws a rectangle for me. And then that'll be placed right there. You can do your own settings again. I have templates, so a bearish fair value gap or a bullish one just to change the color. I used to have all the times mapped out, but it's kind of pointless. I just do. I mean, it's not pointless, but I just don't feel like it's really beneficial for me. So that's why I use it that way. But yeah, so that's the rectangle. That's what I use a lot under that section. What else would I use up under there? That's it. I don't use anything else up under there. Then you have the text part if you want to add words or call out or whatever. So like I've used this in educational stuff, like when I'm trying to teach something, you could do some shit like that and then type like, look here, that's where you want them to look at, and then boom, that's how it'll look. Yeah, that's that. And then you could do emojis and shit. I don't do no emojis, but you can do emojis and add shit there. I don't know what the point of that is. I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know. Measuring tool, if you want to measure how far one point is from another point. 4 bars is 20 minutes, gives you the time, the volume, all of that. Just zoom in, zoom out. This lock feature right here, I keep this on because it makes it easier whenever I'm mapping things out. So like, let's say, you know, let's turn it off first. And I want to put this horizontal ray that I showed y'all, and I want to put it at the top of this thing, right? So you see how I puts it there, but I want it right at the top of it, right? But I can't quite get it exactly there. So what this is going to allow you to do, this magnet point, it automatically snaps to the nearest point. So like that's the nearest point. So it'll either be the exact points or it could be the body. Guess that's the open, then the close, and then you can have the at the wicks, and then even the same when we get to rectangles, it does the same thing. So if I wanted it to do it from here to this body, I can get a perfect rectangle easy of that actual gap. So that's the point of that. Now, other than that, I don't know what these are. Stay in drawing mode, lock all drawing tools. I guess if you can't just delete or remove anything, if you lock it, I can't go through and delete it maybe. Oh no, that's not what it is. I don't know what it is, but it just says lock drawing tools, and then you can hide all the drawings. Like if you just wanted a clear view of your charts, that's what you'll hit there. So you'll link this. So like whenever I'm doing, so if I have 3 charts, right? And if I draw something on this chart, I want it to pop up on all 3. That's how you do that. If it's turned off, it'll only pop up on one. It won't pop up on all of them. So that's what that link there is for. So yeah, we'll remove all those drawings. And then if you want to delete anything, that's what this is here for. If you want to remove all drawings, or remove the indicators, or just remove everything altogether, that's what that's there for. So yeah, so that's it when it comes to these drawing tools to the left. Next, we're gonna just go ahead and talk about some of these different features that we have over here to the left hand side. The trading tab, the trader hub tab, performance stats tab, settings, and then the support tab. So that's what we'll get into next. All right, so now I want to talk about some of these settings that are to the left, but before we get there, I want to talk about some of these things up at the top that I forgot to mention before. So the first thing is the indicator box. You can type in whatever indicators you want to use, and whenever you click it, so say we were using VWAP, we'll click it right there, and then you see it charted on that chart right there. So you see how it only charted on one chart. So one thing we do want to do, we go to the select layout. We want to make sure all of these things are checked. So the simple changes on all charts, that already happened, so we don't really need to do that. Intervals, so this is what now? The intervals is going to be interval changes on all charts within that time layout. Not exactly sure what that's. Oh, I think I messed up the time frames. That's what it did. It changed all the time frames the same. All right, then other than that, what we got? We got the crosshairs. So yeah, you'll show us if you click time. This is one thing I like to do. If you click time, it doesn't look like we can get the indicators to link to all the charts for some reason. I'm not exactly sure how to use that, but I don't use the indicators anyways. So you would just have to go through on each of them and then add the VWAP if that's what you wanted to do. It looks like right now, but I don't use them, so I'm just taking it off. I just want to show y'all how to use it. All right, so yeah, so we had the indicator thing right there, and then this is you can save indicator templates. Then preferences, this is just more settings, like if you want to change your data speed. I think it comes at medium. I switch mine to fast always. You can show your chart execution, so if you wanted to see trades that were placed at what price point, this will show it on the chart. Let's see if let's see what it will look like. When did I trade last? Oh, I didn't even trade YM. Was it ES? Yeah, so this is what it'll look like. So you'll see chart execution. So I got in on this candle, then got out. Well, I got in on this candle right here. You see this red arrow? I was going for shorts, I'm assuming. Price came down here, and then I got stopped out of that trade. But that's chart execution. I ain't going into every single trade, but you can just see the times I got in, times I entered and exited the trade. That's what the chart executions are going to show you. All right, then you can, don't really know what this is. High chart applies, order lines, positions. Oh yeah, you could hide everything that's showing on there. Show confirmation. So I think whenever you place an order, it's gonna be like, are you sure you want to place this order? I turn it off because I like to just get in and out. Chart plot alignment, I like for everything to show on the right hand side. You could have it show up on the left hand side. That's what that's there for. If you want to switch that, confirm account switching. Like I said, you can have up to 6 accounts. So if you're switching accounts, if you have this check, they'll confirm that you want to switch accounts before actually switching them. You can switch the chart value display type, so you can have dollar, ticks, percent, and points. But I just leave mine pretty much like this. I hide the economic events just because I always look at Forex Factory anyways, so I'm gonna know when things are happening. And I changed this to fast, and that's pretty much the only 2 things that I come in here and change. And yeah, so we'll hit save. The other thing was that what I kind of showed you guys earlier was the different layouts that you can have. You can have up to 8 layouts, but this part down here, we kind of read through everything, but if you want to sync your charts and sync the crosshairs and the time. So with the time one, this is exactly what it does. So say I'm like on this 15-minute chart and I want to look at this time area specifically. So I should be able to click that, and then you see all the charts move to that area. This one's acting weird, the 1 minute for some reason, but let's see. Let's resize that and see if that helps. Yeah. And then if I click anywhere, so if I'm on higher time frame and I want to see that specific area, that'll help you do that right there. Now, other than that, let's see. Yeah, so if you want to search a tool or a function real quick, you could do that. Here's a quick search function. Then the settings, another chart settings. This is where this is kind of similar to TradingView, where you want to change like your background color if you want to do all of that. The symbols, status line, scale. One thing, what I do, I'm not sure if this is, default, but I always change these grid lines. I don't like the grid lines on, so I turn the grid lines off, and then I change this to gradient instead of solid to kind of give it a softer look instead of just looking straight black. If I change it to just solid, you see this top left box over here, you see how it's just solid black, and then this one kind of is like, it's not just harsh on the eyes. I feel like that one's a little bit easier, so I like the gradient when it comes to it. So yeah, and then yeah, just click OK. You would click apply to all if you were changing any settings, but that was my settings before, so it didn't really matter. Other than that, then we have this where it could take us into full screen mode, where if you don't want to see any boxes or anything, you'll see this. It does take away your trading, the order panel for you to place your orders. But if you're comfortable with trading off the chart, you could just do that. Right click, then you can do market by 1 all the way up to 15. The same with sell. You can do stop buys off the chart, however many you want. Same with limit sells. And if you're trying to place a stop, in the same way so if you did like a limit, so say if you did like a stop buy, then you would do a limit sell. No. If you did like a limit buy or whichever, say you market bought, you will do a stop sell or buy whatever the opposite of what you're currently doing to place your stop. But the easiest way to do that is to click and drag whenever you're in the trade. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that right now because the markets are closed, but you will enter your trade and then you'll click the price point that you got. Like once you see your order filled and it's showing up on your chart, you will click that and drag it to where you want for your stop and your TP. That's how that will work. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and exit full screen, and then you can also take a screenshot of your screen. You just click take a snapshot and it gives you different options on how you want to do it. You can tweet straight to X if you wanted to, then you open it in a new tab, copy the link, copy image, download image, etc. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's going to be about it as far as the different features on the actual chart. There's all this stuff down here, but I never use it, so I'm not even going to tell you guys anything about it. This right here though, in the bottom where you see extended trading hours, I don't use it, but I mean, it might be something good to know. But if you could change this to regular trading hours, so you'll start seeing like the gaps in prices. So like all the overnight trading is going to be off of the chart. So even if I did like it, let's make this bigger so y'all can see. Or well, it switched. I think it switched. But if we went back to regular trading hours, you see all of these gaps. So these are going to be in between the times where the market isn't open. So these are after hour times. So like the Asian and London markets, it'll take out all that price action, so you can just see what's happening during the New York session. And that's what that means. And then extended traded hours is where you'll see everything. You'll see all price action from after markets and pre-market. All right. All right, so now, like I said, over here to the left, we have the trading panel, which just takes you to the charts whenever you're executing your trades. After that, we have the Traders Hub. This is where you can find all of the economic events that are going on. I think it's pretty cool that you can have this and just see it. And when things drop, you see it, the information right here. You see the impact of the news, if it's a high impact, medium impact. That's what the color coding really means. And then once something drops, you'll actually be able to see like at least the headline of it. I don't know if you can actually click any of this, but you can see the headline of the news dropping, so you know what's going on, pretty much instantly as it's happening. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for that panel. That's one thing I like to use. And then if you click on each of these, it will take you to the information. So I don't want to say each of them. Each of them doesn't have a clickable link, but some of them do. And yeah, and that's all you have to do is just click it if you want to read more information about what's going on. The next, we have the performance stats. So performance stats is really big. I think this is like one of the best features that they have on here, because one, it allows you to keep track of your trading, and then also gives you somewhere to journal, and just keeps everything all at once. So you get like an overview of your trading progress. Then you can look at your stuff on a monthly basis to see what your P&L has been on a weekly basis as well, all the way down to a daily. And other than that, the other thing that I really like about this is that you're able to journal in here. We'll get into that, but I'm just going to break down each of these sections. So this right here is just going to be an overview of how this account has been trading. So you'll be able to see your total P&L, trade win percentage, the average win and loss, the day's win percentage, your profit factor, and your best day percentage of your total profits. All right. Then you'll see your daily account balance. You'll be able to see this kind of emulate every day. It changes every day based on what your closing account balance is. And then you get these AI suggestions from the trading coach. In Top Step, they call it Coach T. But it'll just tell you certain things. Like you see your most successful trading times appear to be 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Consider focusing more on your trading activity during this time slot. So that kind of helps you pinpoint where your weaknesses and your strengths are. So you don't have to do too much digging. It's all right here. Just makes it a little bit easier to fine tune your strategy. Then it breaks down your most active day, most profitable day, least profitable day, total numbers of trades, average trade duration, blah, 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 blah. It's just a bunch of information. You guys can kind of see it. It's self-explanatory. I don't have to talk about each section because you see exactly what it's saying. So this part right here is the section that I really wanted to talk about. This is one of my favorite parts because you can, like I said, you get a breakdown of your monthly P&L, weekly P&L, all the way down to your daily P&L. And then if you wanted to break it down even more, you just click right here and then it'll show you your actual trading through the day and how it progressed with each trade. And you'll be able to see all the trades placed on that day. Now, when you're on this page, this is how you also go ahead and add journal entries. You'll hit this blue button right here that says add journal. Then you could type in whatever, like This day was trash. Do better. You know what I mean? Then you'll click save, and then boom, that's there. You just click outside of that, and then you'll see this icon pop up here, and that lets you know that you have a journal entry for that day. You can just click it, and you'll be able to go through it again, and all the information is still there. So you'll still be able to see the chart view from that day of your performance, and then you can also go down and see each and every trade. And then if you wanted to add a journal for a specific trade, you can do that here. You click that plus sign, blah, 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 save journal, close. And then again, this changes. You'll see the blue icon there, so you know there's a journal entry for that specific trade. All right. And then go down, you'll just be able to see all of your trades, all the trades that I ever placed. So you'll be able to see that on this screen too. Other than that, then we go to the settings tab. So now, like I told you, TradeDay, you can do up to 6 accounts now. So if I wanted to copy trade, I'd come to the copy trading tab under the platform settings, and then you could pick the account, and then you'll pick the follower accounts from there. Then you'll click save, and then your copy trading will be set up from that point. Risk settings, this is the best setting or feature that's on here, because one, when it comes to trading, it's really a mental game, and you find yourself over trading or putting yourself in situations that's not going to be beneficial for your trading progress. So this right here allows you to put risk settings on your platform or on your trading account. They can be specific to each account, or if you're copy trading, it could be as a whole. But what this does, it allows you to put your daily loss limits, your personal daily profit targets, all of that. And then you're able to set an action for it to do after it reaches that point. So if I wanted to, I don't want to lose more than $500 a day, right here under the personal daily loss limit section, I will put the 500. Under that, I can pick an action. So I can either do nothing, liquidate, which just means just sell my position, or liquidate and block, which is going to sell my position and then lock me out from trading for the rest of the day so I don't lose any more money. And I think that's big for a lot of people, because it's really hard to tell yourself stop when you're losing money, because you're like, man, I got to get this bread back. But the markets don't work that way. So this allows you to control those habits that you have without actually having to control them, without thinking about it. Another cool thing about this too is that you can lock out the risk settings. I think this is great, because I had a problem with this before. Like, I would create risk settings, and then when I start getting close to whatever my limit was, I'd come back and like change the limit or change the action to do nothing instead of liquidating and blocking me, and then I just end up blowing the account or whatever it is. But I think that's a really good add-on to lock out the risk settings. So once I set these settings and I hit that button, I can't change it for the rest of the day until the next trading session, which I think is cool. Another thing that they've added is this symbol block here. So if you didn't want to trade, if I didn't ever want to trade the Japanese yen, I would add that symbol, click block, and then I won't be able to trade that symbol. So you can hit the hex if you want to remove it. The amount of contract size you want to trade, you can put a maximum limit on the amount of contracts you want to be able to trade, so you don't over leverage and get too big of trades and blow your account a lot faster. So that's a benefit of that. Other than that, we have this personal lockout, which I kind of showed you guys earlier when you click that button up at the top left. But this one, you could kind of get a little bit more custom with it. So you can do sessions. So if you don't want to trade the New York session, you hit that block. If you don't want to trade the London session, Tokyo, Sydney, all of that. And then you have the custom option where you can do a custom amount of time if you just want it to be until 3 p.m., 4 p.m., or the next morning, whatever it is. That's why you have the option. Then the quick options where you could just do 15, 30, 1 hour, or all day. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the risk settings. Then you have the charts and data. We already showed you this one. That was where we changed the data speed, show confirmations, all of that. We did that. Privacy. This is if you streaming, I guess. It's supposed to be hiding my account name, but y'all saw my account name, but I don't really care. It is what it is. It's just a evaluation anyways. But you can hide some of this information if you want to show things to people, screenshot stuff, and you don't want your information on there. You can hide all this stuff out. So you see how my balance has the asterisk marks and the account name has the asterisk marks and all of that. Like, that's where you do all of that at. Next, you have the hotkeys option. So you can set up hotkeys. I think that's pretty cool. So if you wanted to, get a little bit quicker with your trades and you just want to press a button on your keyboard, place a trade, you would do that. So if I wanted to set a hotkey, so if I wanted to buy market, you'll click set hotkey, and then you'll press what button you want, and then you should see the button pop up here. So if I wanted it to be F, that, or if I wanted it to be a combination, then boom, right there, you'll hit confirm, and then I would have to hit all three of those at the same time for me to enter a trade, right? So we're just gonna do that. We're gonna clear it just so it's out the way. So after you create these hot keys too, I want to go back and show you, because once you set it, that's not all you have to do. Once you set the hotkeys, you have to go back to the trading panel, and then up here on your order, either on your order or your DOM, whatever you're using, you want to go ahead and enable hotkeys. And once that's enabled, that's when you'll be able to use the hotkeys to enter and exit your trades or do whatever it is that you want to do with them. So turn that back off. And yeah, that's it for the hotkeys. Then miscellaneous, you can enable sounds. So like if you wanted to be like order filled, that's where you'll hit enable sound alerts, and then the visual alerts if you want to see your position size and everything and where you are in the position. That's what that's there. I like to keep that on to be able to see. You could change your font size. You could change if you want to show the distance to maximum loss limit, but it's still gonna be there. They'll just say maximum loss limit instead of the distance to maximum loss limit. So it's all still the same. Then under that, you have the support, so you can vote for different features. So if there's certain things that you want to see added to the platform, you can go to this feature vote, and then you'll be able to add that in there. And then once other people see, your suggestion and they want that same feature added, they can upvote it, and you could do the same. So if you go through and you read and you see somebody already made a suggestion for an indicator or some type of feature to be on the platform, you can go ahead and upvote it to push it to the top and bring it to their attention a little bit quicker to get it added. The Platform Help Center takes you to how to use TradeDayX. Then the TradeDay Help Center is going to take you to TradeDay's actual website. Then the TradeDay Discord. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the TradeDay platform. Other than that, I mean, there's really not much else to talk about, but that's just pretty much a run through of how to use the platform. I mean, I don't know if it's advanced or basic, but it'll definitely be enough to get you going and help you get a little bit better at navigating through the platform. So when you're actually in your trades, you don't have to worry about learning something new when you should be focusing on what's going on the chart. So that's the whole point of this video. If you guys have any other questions, please let your boy know. I'm going to be opening the premium Discord here soon. We're just not there yet. We're still doing lives every morning. I get on at about 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, and we'll stay on till about maybe 11, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then some days I'll come in after lunch at about 1:30-ish. In between that time, I'll come in and see if we can find an after lunch trade. But other than that, like I said, subscribe this video so it can reach other people who are trying to find more information about the TradeDayX platform. And and then also, if you subscribe and turn your notifications on, you'll be notified of whenever I go live or whenever I drop some new information. But yeah, other than that, y'all stay blessed. Good luck, and good luck trading, and I'll see y'all next time.